Hello, everybody. It's a beautiful night out here. I am hanging out somewhere around Colorado Springs, and behind me is, well, I may need to move a little bit, but back there somewhere is Pikes Peak, and it's just a beautiful evening. I'm all alone. I'm a long way down a road that not many people are able to get down. I have the vehicle for it, and I guess the desire and the guts to come out here all alone. I'm a pretty close distance to cell service. If I needed someone, I could walk. But I'm just enjoying the evening. I've got some Steven Rinella buffalo goulash is cooking right now. By that I mean I added boiling water and stirred it. I don't know if it'll be good or not. I've never had this. But hey, it's food and you can't ask for a better setting. Here in my little mini cooler, which is a Tupperware with some ice, I've got a little beer from Crooked Stave, Tropical Juicy East. Haven't had this one either. Oh yeah, it got a little shaken on the ride. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So, yeah. I think someone commented on my last video that they could hear my my breathing, which, yeah, that was a pretty good hike. Ended up getting rained out, but it was heavy breathing, so I figured I'd just sit and talk this time. I'm going to eat my dinner here soon. So there may be a couple cuts in here because you probably don't want to hear me munching down on that, but yeah, I think the topic today will be aliens. Not the humans that cross borders or anything like that, more like the extraterrestrials. And yeah, where are they? Why aren't they here? I think I may have an idea. And as is going to be the theme on all of these videos, I have very little, if any, scientific evidence. It's just sort of a hunch. A hunch backed by an overactive mind thinking a lot about these things. Let me see if this, well, it smells good. It's not very warm anymore. Let's see. I'm sure that sounds terrible on the microphone. Well, it actually looks pretty good. And I'm going to have a bite, but I may cut this out just for your sake. It's good. It's not the best thing I've ever eaten, but you know what I think it needs more than anything is more water. It said 3/4 of a cup. I put closer to a full cup in it, but yeah, it's like some of the bigger, meatier pieces didn't have like enough water penetration to them or something. But it's good. It's not bad. All right. Went ahead and finished my dinner off camera, so you didn't have to sit through the horrors of listening to that. It was good, though. It was really not bad for something cooked with only hot water and, you know, coming out of a freeze-dried astronaut food bag. It was good. So aliens, where are all the aliens? We'll get to that in a minute. I think first, we got to take a look at the Drake equation. And we shouldn't look too deeply into the Drake equation. This is just a thought exercise. But let's take it for the value that it does provide, which is a formula that states essentially that even with very, very conservative numbers put into it, states that the galaxy should be teeming with life such that we would have seen it by now. And that ties in broadly to the Fermi paradox, which is essentially just this idea that so much time has passed, 14 billion years. And that is theoretically enough time for aliens to have propagated the entire galaxy. If there was one intelligent civilization in the galaxy, it should have propagated everywhere by now. Speaking of less than intelligent civilizations, there's some sort of bird down here. Anyways, so given that the statistical math and what we know about living things all speaks that we should have detected some alien civilizations by now. Many of them, in fact, but we haven't. So, like, it's a bit of a paradox. What does it mean? Just walk down here. I haven't ever walked down here before. Let's see what's down here. Oh, wow. This is super cool. That is one precarious boulder. I'd like to go under it, but I'm the only one out here, so I will not be doing that. But what does it mean? What does it mean that the statistics and the mathematics and some really basic, really intuitive thinking states that we should have seen these aliens by now? Should have seen some signs of intelligent life. And I have a theory about this. And it's something like, well, first of all, let's talk about the spaceships themselves. Whether it's an actual spaceship that can carry living things over galactic distances, or just an electronic artificial intelligence probe of some sort. Think about this for a minute. When you're driving your car down the highway at 80 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, whatever it is, and you drive through a cloud of dust, that dust is made up of stuff, particles. Particles of varying sizes, some microscopic, some might be, bigger, what you might call a rock. But that dust is made of stuff. Now, the force that each of those particles exerts on your vehicle can be calculated. And at the speed that you're driving your vehicle, 60 or 80 miles an hour, and the distance through that dust that you're driving, not a lot of damage gets done to your vehicle. Your car's fine. Now imagine, though, so anyways, the formula is F equals mv, which is like the force of the particle hitting your vehicle is, essentially just the ratio between the mass and the velocity that you're moving, right? So really easy, rational mathematics. So now, between star systems in our galaxy, it's empty space, and we like to think of that as just nothingness. But the reality is there are actually atoms of hydrogen there, and probably other things too. So I'm just taking a moment because the wind kicked up there. I don't know how the audio is. Hopefully it's fine. It's actually getting a little chilly out here too. But space is not nothingness. It seems like it is. We've been led to believe. I don't think anybody ever actually said space is completely empty, but that's what we were led to believe in, typical education systems in the United States, at least. But when you're sending a probe or an alien spaceship through space, through the emptiness, the intergalactic medium, it's like driving your vehicle through a cloud of dust. And at the speeds you're moving, remember F equals mv, at the speeds you're moving, those tiny particles, even though the ratio of actual atoms to empty space is very, very, very low, the speed you have to move at between between either star systems or galaxies, you have to move at a very high rate of speed, which makes every one of those atoms kind of like a little atomic bomb when it hits your airframe, your spaceship, whatever you want to call it. Same thing to a probe. At the speeds you're moving at and the distances, and the distance is a whole other topic of conversation, just my short take on it is the distances are significantly greater than we can comprehend. Like, just go look up any video on like the difference between a million and a billion, and now multiply that by many, many orders of magnitude, and then you're going to start, you're not even going to be there, but you'll be pretty close, I think, to starting to understand. Let's just say the distances are much greater than anything that the human mind can rationalize. So that makes it very difficult, if not impossible. Yes, so there is technology we haven't invented yet, but we have a pretty good understanding of basic physics. And I just don't think there are materials in this universe that can withstand that sort of pressure over those distances for those at those speeds. So yeah, that's the really short answer. But there's all these other things too, like, well, why haven't we detected radio signals, etc., etc. Radio signals are interesting. They scatter out directionally, depending on a variety of factors. But in general, anything that's going to go star to star is going to have to be directional, and oh my gosh, that's like a needle in a haystack. It doesn't matter how hard SETI is looking for them, they're just not going to find them or stumble across them. And the signal to noise ratio at those distances is just so low. I also wouldn't rule out the idea that there's something going on similar to all the particles. Remember the dust cloud. Like, how does that, like, the only thing we know about radio signal radiation is really what we've learned about them on Earth. Now, there's a lot of science that has been done. Actually, look up Neil deGrasse Tyson's video on how we calculate distances in the universe. And you'll find that, well, sort of every single distance measurement is based on like the next shortest calculation, right? So like it all boils down to like fundamental things we can measure on Earth, and then we take those and we apply those and using new strategies over longer and longer distances. We don't actually know how to measure these things perfectly, at least. So I think the radio signal thing, anyways, it could be something like that. Well, it is starting to rain a bit, and I'm overdue for some of this. I may have to go sit in the truck. It was unexpected. So that's my take on it. My suspicion is that the universe is teeming with life, but each individual galaxy probably is not teeming with life. Each individual galaxy probably has, average galaxy, probably has some, a few living, intelligent civilizations, much like us in some cases, I'm sure. There's probably a few out there that look just like every single alien civilization in every single sci-fi movie you've ever seen. And that would be super cool. And my gut tells me that is the case, and that's really interesting to think about every time I look up into the night sky. I don't think they can get to us. I don't think we can get to them. And I think because of the application of the Fermi paradox and the Drake equation and just a little bit of intuition, I don't think we'll ever see them. I don't think they'll ever see us. Distances are too great, and there are fundamental limits to the physics of this universe. I don't think that's as spooky as it sounds. I don't think it's intentional. I think that's just the emergence of the universe that we live in. I gotta pack up here. It's starting to rain. It's getting quite cold too. So I'm just gonna set you over here and let you listen to the rain and the wind for a few moments, and then I will see you on the next video. Bye.